So it's been a while since I've given you guys an update on the Charger, and that doesn't mean things haven't been getting done. It just means I haven't been recording lately. So I'm going to show you a little bit about where we're at, what's going on with it, and what some of the next steps are going to be. So follow along, enjoy. Hopefully you find this interesting. Now the last time I did any recording on this car, I had pulled out the gas tank and I showed you guys a little bit about, what that took, and found those two holes that were in the floor that somebody put in maybe their own gas can in the trunk or something like that. But here I'd cleaned up one of the holes in the floor and I'm using a magnet to hold it in so I can weld it. It's all welded up. I might have started grinding in that picture. And here I just finished it off with some fiberglass. Anyways, brand new gas tank installed, brand new sending unit installed. Still gotta, I think, address this rear pinion seal, but brand new dual exhaust is all installed. Let's see if I can show you something else. You can't see it too well, but we've changed the transmission filter and cleaned up the pan. Most of the underneath the car, you can't see it too well, but it's been all coated. Looks much better. Now, we've had nothing but issues with this rebuilt engine. As you can imagine, anytime you get a car that had an engine that was rebuilt, never run, and you don't have any information on it, you're going to find problems. So the problem started out with having somebody that rebuilt the engine, they didn't do the freeze plugs. And so we had one freeze plug leak, then another leak. And so we ended up pulling all the freeze plugs, even the ones in the heads, and replacing those. And then we also discovered that the radiator was plugged up, so that's out of it now. And we also had a bolt that goes through the manifold. It's actually a stud for the manifold. Goes into a water jacket, and it wasn't sealed properly, and so that was leaking. And yeah, so that's all a mess. But let me show you a video where we did have it running before we tore it all back apart. Alright, we're going to fire this thing up. Running pretty good. Sounds good. Alright, so you heard it run, and it actually sounds pretty good. So that's, reassuring. The engine seems like it's, it's tight. Everything sounds good. The exhaust sounds great. Yeah, we'll straighten all this stuff out. The most important thing on a car like this, maybe not the most important, but a important thing, is to make sure everything is good. Make sure that the engine runs good, and we've already run it through the gears on the transmission being jacked up. We don't know how it works when there's actually a strain under it. But get all this mechanical stuff straightened out, and then spend the time on making everything nice, wiring it all correctly and getting all the plumbing and everything all correct. That comes later. To start off, you just want to make sure that you're not going to have to pull that engine out. Putting in a new water pump, just because we've got it apart this far anyways. So, beyond that, what's going on? Well, this car has a lot of chrome on it. So, in order to get a lot of this chrome off, you've got to rip out a lot of the interior. And so I had to disassemble a ton of the interior to be able to get some of this chrome off. Things like these badges, because we're putting a new vinyl top on this car. There's all kinds of chrome. And one thing that people that haven't seen many 67 Chargers that are apart maybe didn't realize, I didn't know this. I restored a 67 Coronet, and it was not like this, even though they're the same kind of body car. Look at this. See that lip that chrome sits on top of? I had no idea that was going to be underneath the chrome. I thought the chrome would sit flush and there'd be some like holes or some clips that drop down in. I didn't know there was going to be that rib. So that's different. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys as I carry on with the video series here is going to be the bodywork. And I'm getting ready to do some metal work here. The chrome had to come off before I really want to start doing any of the body work, and we still have a little bit of the chrome to take off, like the door handles and the front fenders and things like that, but I can get going on some of this now, and so I'll show you that next.